Okay, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I'm on my home, which is the internet, which is where we all live now. And I have a couple of guests on the show. And one of them is like, you've been on a few times now. I think it's probably two or three at least over the past few years. And I'm always happy to have you back.
Yeah.
So I'm not,
Well,
trying to minimize your role here. But I think the best way to start this off is if the two of you want to introduce yourselves and then maybe just give a bit of background on the project, because I've been listening to it. It's a really cool record, and I'd like to talk to you about it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll give a very brief overview of who
Sure.
I am, because as we said, I've been on the show multiple times.
You're the known quantity, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Lana Winterhalt. I'm an indie pop singer-songwriter here in the city. And I am recently owning the title of producer as well. So I'm producing my own music. And yeah, you?
I'm Josh Rickert. I have been recently going by the moniker MoonBell. Kind of new to the music scene here, so starting out making some music, producing some tunes, and yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of you had this new album that just came out, which is an instrumental record, which is kind of cool. So what is the genesis of this project? Where did it come from, the idea?
Yeah, well, we really over lockdown. I talked to you, I think, at the beginning of last lockdown.
You did, yeah, last year, yeah.
Yeah, when I released my my other lockdown EP. But basically since then, like, Josh has been getting really into production and really with nothing else to do. That's kind of all we've been doing. So I think kind of the idea was, so many people are online, they're working online, they're doing school online. And it's so hard to find motivation. And we were talking about our old college days, and like, it was so nice to have some good instrumental music to go in the background. So that was kind of like the main, I guess, idea. We decided that, we want some music to just accompany people as they're doing all their boring online stuff. So that was kind of the goal there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so this, go ahead. Yeah, no, go right ahead.
Well, on top of that, Lana had the great idea of asking some local poets to come up with some poetry to go along with the album, so you can read some poetry while you're listening to the album, to kind of to be a study album, to be something more meditative, contemplative. Yeah,
right. I was going to ask about that too. Yeah, the book aspect of it as well. So is that, there you go, right there. Is part of the reason for that because the music doesn't have lyrics? Like, you wanted to still have words that accompanied the pieces?
Yeah, and as we were kind of demoing songs and sending them to our buddies wherever, having them listen to it, it did kind of seem like, for lack of better words, it was inspirational. Like, it did seem like, it was inspiring other creative works from people, and people were kind of saying, oh wow, this is really evocative of this emotion or this feeling or this whatever. And so it kind of seemed that, even though there aren't any lyrics on the album, well, there's one song with like 8 lyrics, but if since there aren't any lyrics, people are kind of hearing storytelling through other ways, through the different instruments and whatever. So I think it was just kind of really natural. We just felt like, the album was already kind of storytelling, so why not kind of add some more poetry on top.
Okay. Is it harder to write for that kind of a record? Because your previous albums, the lyrics are obviously a very important and strong element of what you do, and I mean, they're pretty evocative on their own, music aside. What's the process for writing something that you're missing that kind of key element, and you still have to try and make those feelings come through?
I think, like, it's helpful that we really like instrumental music. Like, I really love, like, Explosions in the Sky, or these different bands that have been doing that. And so even though it hasn't been something that I've personally released in the past, like anything instrumental, it is something that I've been doing for a long time. Like, I've always been kind of making instrumental tracks and just not releasing them. So the process was actually, maybe you want to talk about it, the kind of layering that we did.
Even though we are husband and wife, we do not necessarily work super well together making music.
I was going to ask about that part, because I can't imagine. I mean, I think it would be tough for any couple to work on something like that, especially when you're locked down and you're stuck at home and you're
Yeah, and people have been saying to us, like, that's so cute. Like, it's so nice that you guys could work on things together. And it's like, absolutely not. Like, we almost killed each other. Like, we're never doing this again.
Right.
So we found out a good process of doing things by, you know, Lana's very good at making melodies. Like she has a history of making really, really strong melodies and lyrics. I am not a poet. I am not a lyrical genius. But I am really good at adding atmospheric things, picking out sounds, sound selection, that kind of stuff. So basically Lana would make some melodies. I would go in, make some different sounds and melodies. Well, and I also play trumpet on the.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the trumpet
album,
is very striking when it comes in, because it's kind of all of a sudden, oh, there's a trumpet. It's cool. Yeah. What is your background musically before all of this? Because I mean, you know, Lana's the known quantity again here. I think within the local music scene as well, is that people have heard their last, you know, handful of records and have an idea of what she sounds like. But what is your because you, like you said, you're relatively new to the music scene, right?
I grew up doing choir and doing band. My high school life was all choir and band.
Okay.
So and I took quite a long break. I haven't done music for close to 6 years, and so this is kind of me getting back into things for me, getting back in the swing of things. And mainly vocal and trumpet. I play a little guitar, but that's
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your plans for your own project now? I mean, this is obviously a collaborative record, but like you said, you're kind of coming out there now as this entity. You have a name for it and everything, right? What is your plan with that project?
Hoping to come out with a single later on in February, and then maybe a couple other singles, but then putting out a full debut album later on this year, perhaps around April. Yeah.
Okay, so you might be still in pandemic mode at that point, and
might who knows.
Well, this may be to cycle back to something that we talked about last time you were on the show, Lana. Is the creativity when you're locked down. Like, I mean, you put out that EP, which was great, and it was something you just kind of like, you know, had time to do, and were like everyone was stuck, right? So, are you finding that this kind of lengthy process of pandemic and the quarantine and lockdown is making you have more ideas? Like, are you getting more creative now that this is prolonged, I guess, at this point, right?
I feel like I'm finally getting a chance to take a stab at things that I've wanted to take a stab at for so long. Like, for years and years, it's been like, oh, I would love to try and, you know, make some more beats or try some more, you know, live off the floor type production, or all these sorts of things that are like things that I've always kind of wanted to do, but never had the time for. So it does feel like finally, you know, in that sense, maybe I'm not having new ideas, but I just have the time to focus on these, you know, things that I've wanted to focus on.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how vulnerable we want to get here. Everyone had a really weird year, but we had a really weird year. I was off work for a while. I started some medications, and you know, that always affects the creative process as well. So I mean, for better and for worse, like there was some cool music that came out of that too. But I did feel like kind of again, I had this opportunity, and I think you found this too, where it's like, you know, you're not just trying to squeeze working 30 minutes of music into your busy day. It's like, oh my word, we have an entire Saturday with like 13 hours that we could just sit in the basement and do nothing, or not do nothing, but just work on music. You know, it's like a lot of stuff can come out of 13 hours.
For sure. Yeah. Was there a reason why you wanted to I mean, I guess the question I have in my head here, I'm trying to get out, is why not make this a new band? Or what was the reason between having your own names kind of separately and together on the record, rather than saying, oh, this is our new project, it's called whatever, like, you know?
Yeah. Well, I know. I guess if you don't mind me speaking for you, speak for you. I think Lana has been very apt at creating different sounds for herself. So she's not just stuck in one genre or sound. She's actually really interested in making other sounds. So that really helped in this process, because I was coming along saying, hey, I want to make more music. You want to do something together? I actually started my album before we started this album. So it was kind of like, okay, well, actually I could build off of this EP use this as a stepping stone into the music world. So that's kind of what we wanted to come together, make something new, and then maybe go our separate ways after that.
Right. Never to work together
music,
again. Yeah.
In music,
Yeah.
not marriage.
Yeah. Of course. Well, I hope this wouldn't
Make a
kill that,
record,
right?
get out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lana, do you think that this is for people who are familiar with your other work and
Mhm.
fans of yours? How do you think they're going to receive this? Because it is different. I mean, there's definitely a lot of elements of your previous stuff that does come through here. I mean, but it's different, right? So, do you think that have you had a good response from people who like your more songwritery stuff with lyrics and with vocals?
Yeah, I think like the response has definitely been different. I think kind of weirdly, I think many of my past albums uh did fairly well with some like older folks who still like to buy you no, I'm just kidding. But like my mom's friends, or kind of people who I always joke that I write music for your mom's midlife crisis.
Right.
It's like this, it's so evocative, it's so like you can just sink your teeth into the lyrics. But so I haven't seen the same response from some of those kind of older folks, and I did even get a comment from one of my mom's friends that was like, I don't really get it, but it's nice. So I do think that's a pretty big shift. But at the same time, I truly do think it's good timing. It's weird even to say that because we planned it this timing, but like I think a lot of people are really longing for this kind of calm, gentle music that's something they can just put on in the background, and our favorite response so far has been from parents with young kids who have, like Josh's brother or our friend in Saskatchewan. People are texting us saying like, it's calming our kids down. Like they were wailing and then we put it on and then they chilled out. And so
That's
those
cool.
are just like really practical, like, we want this album to calm people and help them be still. And it's like really happening with children. So, it's neat to see how the music is kind of reaching maybe different audiences in different ways, or just bringing out different reactions from the same people. So yeah, it's been interesting.
You may have a future in the lullaby baby music industry.
Exactly. Yeah. Is there money in it? Sure.
I don't know. There must be. There's probably like one guy who sits there making all of it and just raking in the dough. Yeah. Obviously, the pandemic's happening now. No one's doing anything other than recording or just hanging out for 13 hours a day. Are you hoping to play any live shows with this? If live shows should be a thing that happens again ever?
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot because it's interesting. Like, I used to make music that was like first played by a band and then recorded, whereas this music is just straight up recorded, like it's just produced music. And so we've never played it with a band besides the two of us jamming. So it's interesting to even try to imagine what that would be like. But maybe you can talk about our creative ideas.
Oh, I don't know. with this one, I'm actually not sure what we would do live besides like visual, like projector screen or something like that, like something really immersive. That's really the only thing I can think of with this kind of music. We actually had one of our friends from Vancouver played in a house show, and he played really calming music, and he did that thing where you put the projector on the wall, and he's like, if you fall asleep, that's great, that's what I want you to do. So yeah, something like that, maybe like where we can just like chill out, have a bunch of people over, and
But I think also more realistically, we have so much other music coming out this year that we'll probably focus on those sorts of things, as opposed to spending a lot of time with this album. Like truly, we wrote this album in a matter of a month. We probably wrote it and produced it, and it felt like a sneeze. Like it felt like we just needed to get it out and then kind of move on. And so I don't want to say it was like a wasted release. All our music really matters to us, but it really felt like we just need to get this out, and whoever it reaches, they need to hear it. And if it doesn't reach the masses, good, fine.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
for a certain group of people who need it right now. And if you don't need it, that's fine. And we'll just keep on moving.
Yeah. If you want to listen to death metal or during the pandemic, go ahead, right? This is maybe not.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Although
And
I don't know. I was
really-
listening to grindcore before I put your record on. Honestly, I was like, so
Classic.
that it was a very strange transition. I was like, oh yeah, I have to listen to this because you
Gotta
dropped
get
it
out
off, and it just
all your emotions, got to get them all out. In
yeah,
one
yeah,
day of
extreme
music.
highs, and then
Yeah.
just like
You got
complete
you
relaxation.
got a good range. That's a good range.
range.
Yeah. So maybe that leads in not the grindcore part, but the part you were just saying about you have other stuff planned for this year. What else are you working on? Like what else are you hoping to do? You know, obviously not necessarily together, but separately for the rest of the year.
Go for it.
Well, yeah, you said you have your big album coming out.
Yeah.
I have a summer EP coming out in June, which is just 3 total trash pop bangers.
Okay.
And I have just wanted to produce some just like trashy top 40 pop for a while. And mostly it's just because I last summer kind of sucked, and I thought this summer is hopefully going to be a little more fun. Yeah. And so I thought, we just need some summer anthems. It's not going to be anything deep or profound or life-changing, but I think it'll be fun. And I'm trying to be okay with I used to have just like a really pretentious view of music and my own music, of where like everything had to just convey the most beautiful parts of the world and life and nature, right, and blah blah blah. And I've just got to this point where it's like music can be so many different things. It can evoke so many different emotions and be for so many different settings. So I'm just trying my hand at some trash pop, and I think it'll be fun. But yeah, then after that, I'm right now working on my next full length. So I'm hoping to release that at some point, maybe the end of this year or the beginning of next. So we'll see.
Has your point of view changed on self-production? Because I know when you recorded your first one, it was kind of a new thing, right? The first pandemic EP, it was kind of a new thing for you to just sit there and kind of do it on your own. Are you more comfortable with that now that you've had more experience?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's actually been great that we can kind of both be at home and working on it in that way, because
we've really learned from each other.
Yeah, and you're like a total YouTube nerd, studying all the best technology and all the best plugins and all the best whatever. And I think that's been really helpful for both of us to, he teaches me part of it, I teach him part of it. So that's been really great. But I think I'm still at a point where I don't know a lot of what's going on, but I have I do have a good ear, and I think that goes really far when you're recording or mixing or mastering or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be the fanciest, shiniest thing that you're making or working with, but like you can make some really good music with some really cheap shit or some really low quality stuff. Like you can make really good music. So I think that's just what I've been kind of focusing on. Like, does it sound good? Then it's good. Like, don't worry about the other pretentious stuff. But
well, and there's something to be said for the DIY aesthetic too, right? Even if someone hears something that's maybe not perfect, it might make the song better because there's a warmth to it, or that level of person's comfortable enough to put it out there without having all the bells and whistles and all the everything smoothed out, right? Which is often is the best music, I think, when it's
for sure
very raw, and obviously it can be too raw. It sound like garbage. And I've definitely recorded stuff like that when I was in bands too, for sure. But there's something to be said for the intimacy, I guess, of a home recording versus a big polished studio thing. So
and that's the thing. Like I felt in my past, and I'm always so like reliant on other people to make my music happen, and so I think it's kind of a, I don't know, like what am I trying to say? Empowering. It's kind of empowering to like, I want to make my music when I want to make it, and I want to put it out when I want to put it out, and I don't have to wait for a bunch of people to make it happen for me. So that's been a huge part of it with production, is just, if I want to put out 3 songs in 2 months, I can. If I want to record this instrumental album at home during a lockdown. I don't have to wait to get into a studio. We're making it in the basement, you know? So
Yeah.
it makes it a lot more accessible. And when we want to make something, we can just do that.
And we're definitely not the only ones. Like, it's crazy how user friendly it all is. And I'm sure there's going to be explosion of music when it's all over.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, because I think almost everyone I've had on the show over, the past 6 months or however long it's been, they're all working on something. And I think there's going to just be this massive wave of stuff that people have been sitting on. And, someone could have like 10 albums they've done because they've just been so bored and so antsy to kind of get something out there, right? So I think there's gonna be a lot, and a lot of people be really good too, I think.
Right. And I hope that means that lots of people are going to be going to shows, because, everyone's been cooped up in their house. Like, I cannot wait for a show every night. Everyone's, going to see live music, and it's just as it should be.
Even if I don't go to shows, I want to know that the shows are there as an option to go to, right? Like, I want to know that on any given night, there's at least 3 bands I want to see, and whether I can make it or not, at least the idea is there, and I will try my best to make it out. Because I mean, like, I say the same thing. I wish shows were happening. And I honestly, like, between my job and my kids and stuff, I don't go to shows as much as I used to at all. I wish I did. But now, I want shows to be there so I can, I can find a way to get to them if I really want to see the artist or whatever. So for sure. I agree with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think, like, I mean, I know no one knows how long this is going to last necessarily, but do you think that it's going to happen this year? Do you think that we're going to have, at some point, like, semi-normal live shows?
Probably in the fall. That's my guess.
I think so. Yeah, I'm probably too optimistic, but with vaccines starting to roll out, and hopefully with nicer weather, and then as we get into the summer, at least some outdoor shows. It'd be so great, even if we can't have huge scale festivals like we're used to, just some, like, nice outdoor shows
in your backyard.
Well, I missed that last year. It was so much fun doing those, and then there's no. Just didn't happen. But those are the kind of shows I think will start happening more often once things ease a little bit, because you can have 10 people maybe, and you can be spaced out, and we can slowly start hopefully rolling back into civilized show going again, I hope.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
With this record that you have out now, and the poetry element to it, is venturing into that side of things, like collaborating with other people, getting their kind of artistic expression and combining with yours, is that something you'd like to do, either of you, in future, like to reach out and sort of expand, I guess, the horizons of what you're doing?
Even though I'm putting out a very personal album later on, but then after that, like, dreaming big to hopefully collaborate with more artists, for sure, like that. That's the hope, I think.
And I've always really liked incorporating, like, a lot of my live shows, I have dancers or other musicians, or try to incorporate. I've had a couple shows in the past, I've had videos playing or projections or that sort of thing. So I always like to incorporate different elements, and I really like for shows to be really immersive experiences that a lot of different people can kind of showcase what they're working on, or how my art impacts them or whatever. That's definitely my goal. And my long-term goal is to pull a Beyonce and do like a whole visual music video.
Cool.
That's like my absolute dream. And every single album or EP or whatever I release, I'm like, maybe this is the time. Should I start grant writing? And it's like, no, like, we're still in a pandemic, like, make another plan. But that's definitely my goal for the future, is just to keep kind of building up that kind of visual element as well.
Cool. Well, for this one, you could just go down to the river and just sort of film it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just that there it is, the music video for the whole album.
21 minutes of just the water flowing. It's perfect.
It would suit it, for sure. So where can people find this record? Because obviously, like, I mean, I know things are easing a little bit, but record stores aren't exactly a place people are flocking to right now. It's available online, obviously. What's the best option for someone to pick it up?
Right now we have free local delivery to anyone living in Winnipeg, or pick up if they prefer that.
We have these CDs that they can order and buy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Along with the poetry book.
Yeah, if they'd like. So we I do want to mention about the poetry book too. they're $12, and all the proceeds go to the West Central Women's Resource Center here in Winnipeg.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And they've been doing just incredible work for the community over the pandemic, and offering so many important services. And so we just wanted to do what we could to support them. So all the proceeds of the book go to that. So
that's awesome.
That's more incentive for people to buy.
Yeah. And they can obviously just listen online in the regular places, I assume, right?
Yeah, it's on every streaming service and Bandcamp and probably YouTube, on TikTok. All the teens want to make some TikToks to it.
Is it actually on TikTok? Is that a thing?
It is.
It's on TikTok. Yeah.
How do you listen? TikTok is like it's like moon language to me. I have no idea what the hell's going on with it. You can actually listen to music on there. This is a legitimate question. I have no idea. I'm too old.
It's basically like a 15-second soundbite, and then you can just like make a little video to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a music in the background to a video that you make.
Yeah.
So they can grab your music and put it. Sorry, I'm completely clueless about the TikTok thing.
That's great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So the teens will be playing this chill background music and for something, a hot new dance or something, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's our hope. Our audience is
the teens.
Yeah. What's the best option to find your other music? I mean, for both of you, because you're both recording new things. New things are going to be coming out. The good thing about a podcast is it kind of lives on the internet for years. So someone could come back to this, and the pandemic might be over, and they might want to see when either you're playing shows, right? So what's the best option to sort of keep in touch, whether it's social media or website or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go first.
Basically, I mean, I think I'll probably just do all digital releases for my music. I'm not sure if I'll make any. I'll probably make some CDs, but yeah, probably have those for sale. And then just I'm on Instagram, MoonBell Music.
Cool.
That's probably the best way to get at me.
Yeah, we did just make you a Facebook page and a Bandcamp page, but they're just a logo so far. There's nothing going on there. And then I'm on everything. I'm on everything. LinkedIn.
Apparently you're on TikTok, so I mean that's
I mean I am on TikTok. I'm also on Twitter, but I take that back.
I don't know.
I'm always nervous someone like important is gonna find my Twitter, and then I don't know.
You do exist on Twitter though, because I've tagged you and stuff before.
Yeah.
So I know you exist on Twitter. I haven't looked to see if you have any content up there that's interesting.
Yeah, mostly just like 1 a.m. thoughts that don't need to be shared with anyone.
Isn't that what Twitter's for though? That's basically
exactly
the point of it.
What it is for.
And to criticize celebrities and hope they read it.
Exactly.
That's why it exists.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad we could do this. I know it's like a weird time for everyone because like we're doing this online instead of in person, and you're releasing background music in a pandemic for people to be calm and children to sleep and things like that. But no, it's really I really like the record, and it was definitely that kind of calming vibe though. It was totally what you guys are talking about. That's the feeling you get from it. It's very relaxing. It's very but it's evocative too, despite again being instrumental music. And that sounds bad because it sounds like I'm implying instrumental music can't be evocative when there's tons of amazing instrumental music that really does that.
Totally know what you mean.
Yeah. But before I let you go, I think one of the funniest things, not funny, but interesting things has happened with you, connected to you over the last little while, is you made that Christmas EP, right? And so around the holidays, I was listening to it quite a bit. And it's such a downer. Like, I really love it.
Oh, the New Year's song? Yeah.
Yes, the New Year's song. And I was listening to it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's New Year's. I should listen to this song again. And it's just like, oh man. But it's really good. But it's just like, this is the perfect 2020 New Year's song. Like, it was just enough of a bummer that it was like, okay, good, this year's over. I'm going to listen to this.
Seriously.
This fantastic song that is crushingly depressing, and then hopefully go into 2021. So it was a good send off for the year, I think. Is putting that song on. Yeah.
I do like that song a lot. Yeah.
Good song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.